Hi everyone, welcome back. Hope you're doing great. I am doing okay. Today we're going to be testing out these markers that I picked up from Ross. Dual tip portrait colors, self-made creative is the brand. $4 from Ross that I picked up. This would be really cool because sometimes we struggle with skin tones. Well, I struggle with double stamped these two images. One is a bad job and one is an okay job. I don't think we need to really get into operator error right here. We're going to go ahead and open this up, and we're going to just open it up from the bottom. If you've been here a while, you know I like to grab or purchase inexpensive markers, crayons, and see how they work. And then if you decide that you like a color like this, you can always go for a higher end. If you're just getting into it, I do not recommend going out and buying the name brand colors, especially if you're not a colorist, you just like the color. So they do have a similar appearance to the other markers, like a barrel tip, and you can see one is pointed, another's bevel. And the thing that I found very odd about these is that the numbers, so you can see one is 196 and it has color, 173 and 416, excuse me, 196, 173 and 412 all have a name and a number. This is burnt umber, this is dim green, and this is pale pink light. And then we just have some color numbers. F32, F28, F47, but they are the same style marker. And I do have some more from this company. I did a review on them a while back. Right here says brush and broad. I don't consider this to be a brush tip. I do have them in numerical order. So you can see right here, I don't really consider that to be brush tip. Okay, well this one is softer and it goes down really nice. I like F22. It's a nice color for what I do. And so this says brush. Let's see what this says. I don't, yeah, it says brush, but it's definitely, in my opinion, not really brush. Let's see. That one that I made originally was not brushing. So this is F47. And I do have them in numerical order. Well, that's my buffers. This is a nice green. I'm not sure because I'm not a colorist. I'm not even sure if that really considers to be a skin tone, but I guess you can mix and match or pull out or make something darker. I want to say this is the first one I used, is it? Yeah. No? Well, they do have a more brushy feely. They look more fine tip like this one. At least this mark I made originally. And let's see. Yeah, it doesn't have a brushy feel. It's more of a point, even though it says that it's brush. So what we're going to do, we're going to just go ahead and still do our coloring. And we have our, everybody, whenever I'm doing a live stream or I'm coloring, people say, you should use a swatch. I do swatch most of them out. I just don't use it. Such a bad thought to think you went through all that work to swatch your pieces, your markers, and you don't use them. I know. I just don't. So we're going to go with these three colors. I think this is what her hair will be. So that would be F47. Her clothes are going to be these two purples that we pulled out, but for now we're just going to go ahead and do this. Give her a bit of a light shade. And I've watched professional artists use, convenient store or cheaper, discount store markers or whatever. And a lot of them like them. But of course, they go and say it's no fill in the blank of whatever professional marker you tend to like, which I can definitely understand that because they're not. It is definitely a difference between a 20 cents marker and a $5 marker. Can I tell the difference? Sometimes. Just like with the color pencils that I use. Some are more scratchy than others and some are very creamy. But is it enough for me to be like, I'm only going to buy the most expensive markers on the market or crayons or color pencils? No. I don't mind these colors. I'm not making work that's going to last, that I intend to last for thousands of years. I'm doing like a in the moment piece, I guess you could say. So that doesn't really bother me. So we did use this color. We may also come in with this color because it's a little bit darker than that one and make her hair a little bit more darker because now it looks dusty in my opinion. Like she was outside and a storm came and her hair got full of some kind of dust. So she was messing with the flour, trying to reach it from the top shelf while she was getting ready to prepare some of her delicious pies. And it fell on her head. Now she's covered in that. So this was F47. And now we're going to use 412, and that's burnt umber. I stamped out two, but we'll probably just work on her. I think we're going to be able to use most of the colors, with the exception of maybe this color we won't be able to use. I have an idea for her clothes as well. So you can see already we're making this darker. And if you are into shadows and things like that, I definitely could see how these would work to give you some of those shadows that you want. I am not into shadows because it may be more of a lazy thing than anything now that I think about it. We shall see. One day. One day I'm only going to be a colorist. Maybe. That means I would have to give up all of my other stuff that I do. Have you ever considered that? Like stopping and just doing one craft? I have. Considered it a lot more lately, recently, but I like the variety. These markers do go on very easy. They glide on fairly nicely. And the brush tip isn't um, too loose. And by loose, I mean it's not like all over the place. It's more controlled. So I do like that. I mean, they were $4, so you do the math. We get six for $4. Now I'm just going to go back in with this one to attempt some blending, not bleeding. I was thinking, is it bleeding through here? I am using Spectrum Noir smooth paper. So yeah, she definitely has a nice thick head of hair. Probably goes through shampoo like crazy, especially if flour tends to fall on her head more frequently than she would like. The stamp I'm using is by Prima Julie Nutting. It's a Julie Nutting stamp, but Prima under the Prima label. And her name is Julia. She's one of my favorite stamps, and I think she is because she could be an adult or a younger person. She could be a younger adult, a child, or whatever, just depending on how you set her up. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our green and pink. Now this pale pink, pale light pink is really cute. So I think what we're going to do is just highlight some of this. And she's quirky. This marker did run a little bit. So, let your ink dry if you have an issue with that, or if you have quick drying ink, that will work as well. Okay. And now we're going to use our green. So the lighter colors do seem to be picking up the ink. Just keep that in mind. Do I have any qualifications to give you my review? Well, I paid for them, my own money. If you are at the store and you're wondering, do those things work? Are they worth my $4 that I could be spending on something else? Then yeah, I could tell you how I feel about them. If you are a first class artist and you just happen to be thumbing through and you see this and you're like, oh, what qualifications do you have? Well, I paid for them. Again, they do go on very nicely. Not much scratching. I have purchased some markers that have scratching on them, but it seems like the fabric or whatever that they use is pretty decent. So no scratching. And I just have to use the bevel so we can get a good, see how the coverage is. And it's pretty decent as well. Bakers tend to always wear, at least in TV shows, always wear like quirky clothes. Not normally, white outfits, but some kind of little quirky thing. And I figure she's some character. She's a great baker, but she has, which we all do, character flaws, right? Okay. So we're gonna go back to our pale light pink and just give her shoes a little bit of pink detailing. And maybe she's known for her quirky colors along with her delicious muffins that she makes. I don't know. So we're gonna go ahead and use these creative experts. These did not come in a pack, but I just thought we would use a different color. I was hoping it would be a little bit lighter, but that's okay. I just grabbed two because I thought these were the same brand. They're not. I've watched a few videos about people talking about shading, and so if the sun was hitting from this way, how would it be, and things like that. And I always think, do I really want to get into those types of mind thoughts? And sometimes I'm like, yes, because I feel like this would be a little bit, these pieces in her arm would be more shadow, and then it would be maybe on this side, depending on where she was standing, but she was getting blasted by the light. Full face, then all of the clothes would be the same color, no intensity on one area versus the other. But, I'm not there yet. Not there yet. I do enjoy watching videos where people teach those things, though. Recently I was like, am I in the wrong category? So I went and looked at a lot of the very popular creative types, and nope, I think I was in the right category. I really wish they had like a arts and crafts category because they have like music, they have entertainment. Music is entertainment, gaming is entertainment, but they have those pulled out. Like I think they should have a arts and crafts and then subcategory like woodworking, yarn or fibers, painting. They don't really have a craft section per se. Nonetheless, most crafters just pick a channel that they like, I think, and go to it. So now we're going to use this color, the first one, which was F28, and that's the skin tone we're going to go with. And, when I saw these, like, oh, this would be great. Because sometimes you don't really feel like blending. Well, I don't feel like blending in the colors to make a good skin tone. I just want to grab a skin tone that someone else has blended and make it look like I did a lot of hard work, which I didn't. And I like this skin tone, F28, a nice skin tone. And it is for portraits. Now, as before, I've seen people do skin tones with orange colors and green, so I'm assuming that green is probably for that. And we can see a side test. We want to keep Julia, Chef Baker Julia. I want to do something with her. Let's. The thing would be, which one would you put down first? Yeah, that's good. I do think that this is already really this color. Let's see, you can see it here. It would be dark, a little darker, but that's okay. Stick it to what we did already. But I'm not sure how I feel about the mix and match of numbers. You get three with numbers, and you get three with names and numbers. Interesting. I was like, it's $4. What could it hurt? If they're not that good, I could just give them to the little roommate. Okay. And now I think we could go all out and use this one, huh? Yeah, because it's more greeny. Some green. It dries greener, I guess. See? So let's do this. Give us some khaki pants. This also, I think, would be a good skin tone, but I feel like this would have to be blended with something. So, um, I had watched Crafter's Companion before, and they talked about like the flicking technique with their markers, but it was a brush tip. So there you go. Guess that works. I don't know. So we used all six of the markers. We just gave it a little bit of a pop of color from the purple that we used, which was 721 lavender, I believe. Yep, lavender. We're just using this to go over it. And I would say most of them, except for the first one, it has a brush feel to it, but it does feel more like just a bullet versus true brush. But I like them. I would buy them again. They get what I need to get done. And this is our work of art that we have created with these markers. So yeah, they call it fine tip. The first one that we swatch, this color, it works more as a fine tip with a slight hint of brush, I guess. So this is our creation with these markers. Do I recommend them? If you are not big into buying a markers for a crazy price, yes. If you just want to test them out for $4 because you decided not to get your latte today, yes. If you are a colorist and you just like to add these as fillers in between your more Expensive markers? Yes. I think they're good markers, but if you have like a bunch of Copics, chameleon markers, and you're like, I don't mess with anything inferior to that, then no, don't get it. Don't waste your money. Buy the latte. I had a great time. I hope that you did. If you decide to get those, please, or you have those and you've done other things with them, leave me a comment in the comment section and let me know. I want to say thank you all for watching. Until next time, happy crafting.